Hello, hello. So, how late is it? 4 minutes. Okay, still doing good. Still doing good. Hi, everyone. So, if you're watching this, please share it on your Facebook page or your LinkedIn page. Please tag people who you know that are in business and could really use some business acumen about how to get business funding. Tonight, we're going to talk about 10 ways to fund your business. And so I'm coming on to give you 10 suggestions on how you can fund your business idea. If you're looking for funding for your small business, and most small business owners are, we're going to talk about in depth about the 10 different ways that you can fund your business. So if you have a business partner, if you have a business friend, if your best friend is in a business, if you know anyone who could use this information, please tag and share this to them on either LinkedIn or on Facebook. Thank you so very much for joining me. My name is Linda Murray Bullard. They call me the business plug. And so tonight I am plugging you in to business funding. I'm plugging you into 10 ways to get money, capital for your business idea, because I know that is needed. I know that regardless of what you're selling, you could use a few more dollars in your bottom line to operate your business. So we're going to talk about that in depth. So I also wanted, before we start, I want to talk to you about September 4th, which is next Saturday. So what I do is I teach business owners how to get access to grants. That's one of the things I do. And it has been a class, like I'm doing a class every week now because people all over America are wanting to know, how can I get some of that grant money? And so I'm teaching them how to get to the money. And so next Saturday at 10 o'clock a.m., 10 o'clock a.m., I am hosting another class to teach people how to get grant money for their business ideas. And so this doesn't matter whether you're a for-profit or a nonprofit, but it is my attempt to help people find the funding they need in order to build out their business ideas. And so in this season, there's a statistic that actually says that the majority of grant money is donated during the fourth quarter. And so if that's true, then right now is when you should be preparing to get that grant money for the end of the year. And it makes sense really because people are trying to clear their books for the year. And so they will do be more, especially around Christmas time, right? Everybody's jovial and ready to give money and ready to help the organizations that are close to them. So if you want to learn how to prepare your small business for grants, there's a link in the description of this video that you can just click on the link. It's going to take you to my next class where you can purchase your ticket. Another thing is, for the next 4 days, those tickets are 33% off. So you're getting a discount in addition to finding the help you need as far as trying to get grant funding. So that's what we're doing. So that's the first thing I need to tell you about. The next thing is we're ready to start. So let's start talking about grants. And if you are watching this and you have comments, you have to give StreamYard permission to show your name. Otherwise, I can't see you. I can see your comments, but I can't see who commented. And so I can't directly give you information because I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are if you don't give them the permission to show your name. So that's what we're talking about. And then they have some destinations where I can't even see your comments, period. And I'll have to go look at those after I end. So this is going to probably about 20 minutes. It's a very short presentation on how to get 10 different resources for you to consider when you're looking for capital for your small business. So let's start. So let's begin. Let me see if I can get my presentation to start spooling for me. Okay, so 10 ways to get funding for your business idea. My name is Linda Murray Bullard. Again, they call me the business plug. I have an MBA. I am also a project manager professional certified by the Project Management Institute. And I'm a social media social media marketing certified. So I do that. A little bit more about me is I am an award-winning author. I wrote the Well Ran Dry Memoirs of a Motherless Child. You can get it at every public library in America. In addition to that, you can also get it on Amazon. It is for sale. And my second book I wrote was Building Your Own Business. It's called BYOB Getting Started 101. So for those of you who have ideas and you're like a real good self-study, I wrote that book to kind of help you along. Also, I'm an affiliate of the Kauffman Foundation's Fast Track program. So what that means is I actually host a 12-week course that teaches business owners how to get ideas out of their head and to actually implement them. I do that. I have a class coming up soon. And I'm an international speaker, and I have people who are in Barbados, Africa, Douala, shout out Douala in Cameroon, and London, England. Also, I've been on TV, all the major stations, ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox. I've done television interviews on each of those. And in addition to that, I've done some radio interviews as well around the world. So yeah, I'm also the director at large for the Women's Fund of Greater Chattanooga, which is a local women's fund that does great work legislatively for women and girls in the state of Tennessee and support women all over the world. But our primary focus is the state of Tennessee. I am also a part of the Nightingale Network. I'm a board member, have been there for 3 years. I'm a mother of 3 grown, very grown young men. I call them sons because they are my sunshine. They are what gives me energy. I have 6 grandchildren and 1 great-grandchild, 1 great-grandson. So yeah, so that's a little bit about me. We're going to talk about, if you want to screenshot this, you're welcome to. We're going to talk about these 10 different sources of getting money for your business. And we're going to just talk about a little bit of each one of them. You are welcome to answer questions. Put your questions in the comment section, and I'll get to them at the very end to make sure I cover all the things that you have questions about. So we're going to talk about each one of these. We're going to unpack them, and let's begin. The first one is considering factoring. Now, factoring is a financial method where a company will sell their accounts receivables at a discount in order to get cash up front. You may see that when you're talking about collection agencies, right? So they sell their book of receipts, of receivables to a collection agency, and the collection agency goes after it for a smaller amount, right? So that's one way of getting money for your business, because you can actually do that. Also, crowdfunding. Now, these are non-traditional ways of funding your business. So a crowdfunding is like Kickstarter is a popular one. Kiva is a popular one. Kiva actually has no interest. It's a no interest provider. So they do loans and then you don't pay, it's 0 interest. And with crowdfunding on Kickstarter, you will give the people who donate towards your business different things, different attributes from your business, and they become shareholders of sorts. It may be just you put their name on your literature, or you make them a partner, or whatever thing you think based on the range of donation they give you. Another one I learned about yesterday or Friday is Start Engine. I think it's Start Engine, and it actually belongs to Kevin O'Leary, does work with them. And people have been very successful in getting funding. It's a crowdfunding site. People have been very successful in getting money from them. So it's startengine.com. You might want to check that out. And then pledging future earnings. So through an online market service like Thrust Fund, the 3 have offered up to a percentage of their lifetime earnings in exchange for upfront undesignated venture funding. Ericsson is willing to swap 6% of her future lifetime earnings for $6,000 as an example of how that would work. So if you want to pledge what you want to borrow against what your future earnings will be, like if your future earnings are guaranteed and you're just waiting for your business to scale to get to that that position where you can say, well, I am wanting to borrow against my future earnings. Very risky, extremely risky, because you have to pay that back if it's a loan. Traditional funding, bank loans, right? So going to one of the big brand name banks, or even going to a hometown bank, because some banks are very good with small businesses right now. So going to a small hometown bank may be preferable to than going to a national bank. And then some people use credit cards. We do not suggest you do that because it does affect your credit score, right? When you fall behind, it affects everything. We don't suggest that, but it is still an option. And we're talking about giving you options. The micro loans from credit unions are micro lenders. Like right now, a lot of credit unions are working with the Small Business Administration and giving access to micro loans. That means loans up to $5,000, right? On here, it talks about a micro loan for small business loan ranging from 500 to 35,000. The ones that I have seen locally, there are some that go higher, but the majority of them are up to $5,000. Now, what could that mean to your business if you had $5,000 or your business idea? That could definitely get you started. So, and if you have to have a good business plan, and so we'll talk about that later. So raising money from your family and friends, oh yeah, that's risky too, because if you don't pay them back, there may be some kind of, friction in your family. People stop speaking because of this, and disinherit people, and all kind of things happen. So you have to know your friends, you have to know your family before you borrow money from them. Like, are they going to be an investor? Is it going to be paid back, or is this a donation? Like, you need to be very clear, and you need to have an agreement of how you're going to pay it back. And I would put that agreement in writing, as opposed to an oral agreement where you're just verbally saying it. But I would put that agreement in writing and have both parties to sign. And I would make sure that as the business owner, I stuck to that agreement, because I like all my friends and my family. So you don't want to, something to go bad and then you can't pay them back. That would not be good. So make sure that you have an agreement and that you were both on good terms of how it's going to work out, and what happens if for some reason your money that you're foreseeing doesn't come through. Because I can tell you, entrepreneurship is a crapshoot. And so it's risky. It's extremely risky. And sometimes, to our best efforts, the money just doesn't come. That's the reality of it. That's the part most people don't talk about. They don't talk about the times when there are no customers coming, no paying customers coming, and you can't meet your bills. So that's something to consider when you're talking about raising money from your family and friends. Additional ways: go get an SBA loan. Like the Small Business Administration has different types of loans. They actually have some non-traditional and traditional loans that you can get as a business owner. So going to them, your local SBA.gov is how you reach them. So SBA.G as in girl, O as in oven, and V as in Victor, is a federal agency, and their job is to help you with your business. So go and get an SBA loan or a Small Business Development Center loan. They work with their partners of the SBA. So investigate that. And then what about attracting angel investors? There are some people that, because of your cause or because of the type of business you have, they willingly donate money to people and want little or no recognition. A lot of times it's anonymous and things, because they just want to do something too good in the world. And so there are angel investors. And if you're doing your hard work and you're attending these pitch competitions, like, are you going to pitch in your business to these different angel investors? All the old rules still apply, right? Avoid jargon and have an exit strategy. Tell them what happens if your money doesn't come. You have to tell them what's going to happen, but just foreseeing what you're doing. And then tapping into your 401k. Oh, that is extremely risky, and that is not. I'm giving you options. I'm giving you options. I'm not telling you to do any of these. Like, you can do none of them and be fine with me. But I'm just giving you an option of thinking about where you could raise money for your business. So tapping into your 401k is very risky, extremely risky. And those funds that you accumulate over the years can be pretty tempting. And if the business doesn't work out, they could be gone in a flash. So you want to be sure to think about that. And then grants. What about grants? That's one of the things I was telling you about. I actually help business owners write grant proposals. Like I teach them how to write it themselves, but I also write them with them as a part of the business service that I offer. So if you have questions about that, then by all means, reach out to me after this is over. But yeah, so getting grants could help. Grants are debt-free funding, and so that's really a good idea. There are plenty of grants out there. And in this class that I do, the one that I'm doing coming up next Saturday, I just did one yesterday. And the one I'm doing coming up next Saturday, I teach business owners how to set themselves up so they can be fundable, because it's important for you to be fundable. And so grants is one way that you can actually get additional money, and it's debt-free money. You don't pay it back as long as you do the work that you say you're going to do. So let's talk about the business plan. So yeah, a well-written business plan. When you're talking about getting several $1,000s in grants, or you're talking about investing, or getting somebody to a bank, or getting a loan, or whatever you're doing, you need to have a solid, well-written business plan. And so the elements of the business plan, and this is not all inclusive, but you need to be able to write an executive summary, which is summarize everything that's after it. It's actually the first part of the business plan, but it's written last. You need to be able to talk about your company's background, why this business exists. You have to talk about, your mission statement, your core values, your vision statement, where you're going to take the business, things that are your core values. You also have to have a marketing analysis. And in marketing analysis, how big the market is. You have to do a SWOT analysis. You have to look at it from your city, from your state, and then from the US, like what's happening in that industry globally. You need to be aware of your industry. And a lot of business owners aren't. They just open their business and they don't look to see who's on the right or the left. But doing a SWOT analysis requires you to look on the right and left and know what your competitors are doing and knowing how you stack up against your competitors. That's why this SWOT analysis is definitely needed. Also, a sales strategy. So people get confused and they think that marketing and sales is the same thing. They are not the same thing, but they are married, meaning you have to have a strong marketing plan in order for your sales plan to work. You have to have a strong sales plan for your marketing plan to work. Have you ever seen people that have like 5,000 followers on Facebook, but then they don't have $5 in their bank account for their business? It's because their marketing may be working, but their sales strategy is not. And so it's important that you have a good sales strategy. You can actually find a template for writing a business plan at SBA.gov. The Small Business Administration actually has a template that you can use for free. And by the time you key in all the information, you have a submittable, worthy a template of a business plan. So you don't have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars if you're pretty good at writing. But it does ask you different questions and you walk through it. And when you finish, you can print it off as a business plan. That's a cheap trick I wanted to make sure you had. There are other elements that go into a business plan. Again, you can go to SBA.gov and then put business plan and it'll show you the template. But you need to have your mission statement, like I said, vision statement, core values, your management summary, your marketing segmentation plan, like the web plan strategy and your competitive edge. And you need to have financial documents attached to it. Either they be projections or if they're realistic, if you're already in business. So thinking about those documents, you need to have the cash flow statement. You need to have income statement, and you also need to have the balance sheet. I don't care if you're trying to get a couple of $1,000s, if you're trying to get $150,000. Those are basic plans, but basic financial plan documents you need to put in every business plan. So you need to make sure that you have it and that you are including it in your business plan because they're going to be looking for it. You also want to put any supporting information that supports how you're going to do your business, like a personnel plan, a sales strategy. What does that look like? Mapping that out. Also write business plans. If you need help writing a business plan, then you can reach out to me after this session. So yeah, so this is the end. And I have put in the bottom there how you can reach me. You can also go to getthebusiness.org. That's GETTHE business.org. And that's my website, and you can reach me there. My name is Linda Murray Bullard. They call me the business plug. And tonight, I wanted to bring to you the different ways that you can find capital for your business idea. And with that, see, that was very quick. With that, I'm done. I am done the whole thing. So if you have questions, reach out to me. If not, we'll see you next week at 7 o'clock, our normal time. We'll see you next week at 7 o'clock, and I'll bring you another topic. Hopefully, I'll have a guest. It'll be September, so it's time for me to bring some guests by to talk to you. But you all have a great week, and I'll see you next Sunday.